Hello, and thank you for very much for taking the time out of your very busy schedules to join me this evening. I hope that there is something within this video, one of my other videos, that is a benefit to you or to somebody that you know. Please like, subscribe, and do share this video. Bell for notifications. I'm sure it's an argument as to whether it works or not. Depends on who you talk to. And go ahead and leave a comment down below. I do look at them. So, for those who have been keeping up, I have had a little bit of technical issues. I did intend to have a interview with a small business owner put up. So until I can get that issue resolved, I'm going to go ahead. I have a couple of things planned out, podcasts, whatever, planned out. So I'll go over those and while I try and get caught up with that. So to start with, I want to take a look at 10 Keys of Success. This is going to be part one. It's a two-part series. But I wanted to break it off. Success is predictable, trainable, and teachable skill. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at 10 Keys of Success from Brian Tracy's book, Psychology of Selling. With this, yeah, there will be a sales slant. My other business that I do a lot of personal sales as well. So, and then there's the accounting firm where there's sales involved in promoting the business. So you're doing sales in one form or another. But enough of that. Let me go ahead and continue with the notes here that I'd taken from it. So the first thing that was listed was to do what you love to do. And this is really true. I don't know if it's like the first thing. Again, with this particular list of 10 things, I can kind of argue as to which one takes priority. Write it down yourselves. I digress. So do what you love to do. I personally, I love to help people. I really do. There's a beautiful service I offer. Therefore, and it's like no other. And I know that it has benefited people. It's benefited me. So I do love to sell people because it gives people a beautiful opportunity with it. If you love your work, it'll be a lot easier to find yourself committed to it, to be able to focus to it, and to your goals as well. I mean, because part of it is not just focusing on your goals, but if you're going to do the job, sometimes you need to do it every day. But regardless, you need to commit to excellence in the field that you choose. And then once you join, shoot for the top 10% of your industry. Me, I'm in a competitive industry. I'm kind of an overachiever. Believe it or not, I'm actually in the 1% of my particular industry when it comes to production. The top 10% of the 1%, probably a little more, but the top 10% of those are millionaires in the company. So, like I said, and that's rough math. It's probably a little more than that, but so I'm not too far away. And I don't consider myself necessarily in bad company. A lot of these are the same principles I've used in my sales over the past 30 years. This was a good way of presenting them. So, 2, decide exactly what it is you want to do. And set a goal and determine exactly what price you are willing to pay to get to that goal. There is a price to success. I'll get a little bit more into that, but not at the moment. Because I have a funny feeling I'd find myself doing something along the lines of my habits episode. But, so according to research, about 3% of adults have written goals. And those are the ones that are usually the most successful and highest paid people in their field. Well, in every field. Even I have written down goals. So it's when it comes to deciding exactly what you want to do, you want to write them down. You want to be exact. You want to be specific. That way it also helps you to be able to lay out the plan and the path to be able to get to your goals. So back your goals with persistency and determination. Yes, it kind of comes up a lot. Once you start, refuse to consider the possibility of defeat. At this time, develop a positive mental attitude if you haven't set one up already when committing to do this business. And as I've said before, decide, the difference between failure and permanent defeat is a positive mental attitude, and it is mindset. So don't hold back either. Fully commit. Well, of course, with me, when I said that, I jumped in with both feet. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend with everybody. This particular one is one of those talk with your mastermind group. So make a complete commitment and resolve that nothing will stop you or discourage you from your objectives once you start your business. Again, there's your mastermind group. They'll help you out. Keep with either your mentor, your mastermind group, workout partners. I want to point out here that your level of persistency in the face of setback is basically a measure of your belief in yourself. The Greek philosopher Epictetus, I know I said that wrong, said that circumstances is not what makes a man. They simply reveal the man to himself. So again, those hills and valleys that I've mentioned in past videos with regards to a business, those are the setbacks. You don't want to necessarily, again, let any of those minor setbacks make you or deter you from continuing on with your business. There's a gentleman I know. He's currently a millionaire. He says it took him about 50 months before he actually realized that he was successful with the business that he was doing, the industry that he's in. Okay, as I said today, he's a millionaire. I believe he had the goal and had achieved being able to make $1 million in a year from the particular industry that he's in. I'd bet he writes down his goals too. So, and if you ask him, he'd say he does. So your degree of resilience is the market measure of your character, and we'll kind of get into character some, because when you're a small business owner, your character is important. So how quickly you bounce back from a setback or those valleys in a business that I'd mentioned determines how successful that you will become. Number 4 that he'd say, for the 10 keys of success, or 10 points, is to commit to a lifelong learning. This I could go on quite a bit. And it is a recurring theme among successful people that if you were to ask them, one of the things that they'd tell you is to never stop learning. I know for sure in my industry and several other industries is, yes, they continue learning. Not necessarily through college, mind you, but either, to grow somehow in some way. This is why I also say and encourage people to read, their 10 pages of a good book a day. There is one way to increase your personal value, because your personal value is limited to the practical knowledge that you know, and how it is used to benefit others. Well, what you know being used as a benefit to others. And as you learn, you become more valuable because you have more knowledge that you can pass on to other people, which can benefit more people. The more people you help, get what they want, the more you will get what you want. This is a Napoleon Hill. He's famous for that quote. You should look into him. So the greater your reward, the more that you will be able to charge and to be paid. And this is very true. I was just listening to the gentleman who started Papa John's, and he said to come up with his slogan, he hired a gentleman who charges basically $10,000 a day. Of course, it took him about 20 minutes, but the slogan for Papa John's, everybody knows. No, I'm not going to do it here because, well, it's not. I'm not sponsored. So, number 5 is to use your time well. Okay, your time is all that you have. That's it. And it's all that you have to sell. When it comes down to it, it is your primary asset. One of the general goals or focuses that you should have is those activities that contribute more to your life or your work. And one suggestion is to begin every day with a list. Personally, I do my list at night before I go to bed. And I generally have a good idea of where things will go in for my day. I plan my day out the night before I go to bed. Usually just before I go to bed. And as I'm having my morning coffee, quickly reviewing my list and planning anything that should come up during the day that I might have forgotten. A person, next to your time, the next most important asset that you have is your calendar. Time management is incredibly important. And with that said, time management experts say that you can increase your productivity or gain 2 extra hours per day just by the very act of planning your day out. So again, a to-do list. And we'll go a little bit more into that. But you want to set clear priorities. You want to schedule the big rocks first. And this is, this could be looked on a much grander scale than on a daily basis. But again, this is kind of what I do the night before, what I have to do, overall. So the big rocks first. I don't bother with the gravel, the little things. Prioritize the big rocks as well in size, in how big they are. And go down the list. And those ones I don't get to that are on my list for tomorrow, then they get moved to the next day and become a slightly bigger priority. This is how I am able to, one of the ways I am able to make sure I make my deadlines. So Brian Tracy also recommends that one of the ways is to take you a list, take your list of things to do and ask yourself, if I was to get on a plane and leave town for a month, what would I have to do tomorrow? And then the next thing, 2, 3. And he usually does that for a couple of things. I don't think he was specific, get specific, but that's basically the general gist. And usually if you have 3 major things you need to make sure you get done a day, that's a pretty good goal. Some people more, some people less. Again, it depends on your life. Everybody's life is different. But it's kind of one of the ways to look at prioritizing is just to get the big rocks out of the way. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me this evening. I hope that there was something in here that's a benefit to you or somebody that you know. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And I do get to the comments. And with that, thank you very much. And I hope that you have yourself a very beautiful day.